Coming to paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Cancel Vacation. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a social justice social media mob looking to cancel her in this all-new E-Steam series adventure. Pre-order E-Steam Cancel Vacation on Amazon.com today. One of my viewers wanted me to talk about the whole concept of going along to get along and why going along to get along is a failure. Now, as somebody who has been bullied in his adolescence, I can tell you that the whole concept of going along to get along is a complete failure, and all you're going to do is prolong your agony with each passing day you try to give in to this person's demands. Now, a lot of people think that they need to go along to get along in the hopes of getting out of a bad situation. Unfortunately, whenever you try to do this whole go along to get along situation, what you're doing is creating a covert contract between you and this bully, and this bully is never going to honor the terms of that said covert contract. And what they're going to do, because this person does not respect you, is they are not ever going to end the situation. And the reason why they're not going to end the situation is because they've gotten everything that they want out of the deal, and they have leverage and control over you. And because they have leverage and control over you, they have no interest in ending the deal where they continue to have power over you. Now, in all of these situations of go along to get along, what usually happens is that these people who are thinking that they're in control, what they do when they have people going along to get along is they don't really want to end the power that they have over people. So in order to prolong the agony that they have this person in, because these people really get off on the power that they have, what they do is continue to escalate things. And when they escalate things, what they do is they make more and more demands on the individual, because the person going along to get along, they're thinking that if they just do what this person wants, they can eventually make things end and this person will move on. But there are two things that won't lead to this whole situation ever ending with this kind of bully. The first thing that won't lead to things ending is the power that this person believes that they have over the other person. And because this person thinks that they have power over another person, what happens is their ego starts to get so inflated that they wind up thinking that they're getting off on the power that they're having over this person. Now, the second thing that has them continuing to go on and prolonging this person's agony is the greed that this person has from all of the benefits that they're receiving from this person. Because oftentimes, a lot of people in a go-along to get-along situation will go out here and give an individual whatever they want, whether it be money or some sort of valuable item, in the hopes of making this person stop whatever they're doing. But because this person is getting so much value as related to items that they want materially, and getting off on the power that they are receiving from having people under them, what happens is this person starts to get power tripping and they start to get real delusional. And what happens is, as they're getting what they want out of the deal and the other person is just living in fear, they start escalating their demands. And as they escalate their demands and start making getting the person to jump through hoops, the person, because they're scared, they continue to go out here and try to acquiesce to the individual who thinks that they can eventually see a light at the end of the tunnel. But before that person can get there, the person who is bullying them yanks the rug right out from under them, trips them up, and then makes even more absurd demands. Now, this cycle will go on
for months and even years unless the person starts to grow some sort of backbone or some sort of stones and starts to stand up for themselves. Because the only way out of a go along to get along situation is for a person to stand up and set boundaries with an individual. Now, a lot of people, they don't want to set those boundaries because they are afraid that this person will do something to them, and they fear the consequences of whatever actions this person is going to take because they believe this person has some sort of power. But the real power lies in the other person's hands, because once they start to stand up for themselves, this other person who they're trying to go along to get along with winds up losing power. Now, oftentimes in these go along to get along situations, what happens is this bully is so tripping on their power that they start to make such unrealistic and ridiculous demands that eventually the person cannot fulfill the demands to get along with this individual, and their frustration, which has been simmering and boiling for an extended period of time, starts to turn into anger. And then eventually this person, because they wind up in a situation where the person makes an extremely unrealistic demand and starts making and makes an insane threat, gets to a point where they start to have nothing to lose. And that's where, when this person, because they've moved the goalposts so many times, actually basically paints themselves into a corner, backs this guy into a wall, and because the person that's trying to go along and get along with them feels worthless, feels powerless, and feels like they have nothing to lose, what happens is that person usually winds up exploding in a rage. And when that person explodes in rage, that's when the person that was bullying them usually winds up either getting the living crap beat out of them, or they wind up 6 feet under because they have pushed this person too far. Because in a go along to get along situation, what happens is the power trips, the ego, and the greed of the other individual make them think that they have all this power. But because these people do not understand the concept of boundaries, they push too far. And when they push too far, they wind up with absolutely nothing at the end of everything, and both parties wind up losing. But the only way to really stop a bully from establishing a go along to get along situation is for a person to put their foot down, put a line in the sand, and establish a hard boundary with people from day one. This is how you stop a go along to get along situation. You shut people like this down almost immediately, because when they come out here thinking that they're going to try to get some power over someone, what you have to do is let them know they have no power and control at this point, and that they are not going to dictate any sort of terms to you. And this is going to end right here and right now, because what they're trying to do is they are trying to control you because they are afraid of you taking power. And the faster you take power over them and shut them down, it ends the go along to get along situation, because you cannot get along with somebody who does not respect you. And when somebody tries to make you go along to get along with them, this person is basically disrespecting you to your face. So you have to go out here and take your respect almost immediately. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the go along to get along situation don't understand that the only way out of the situation with this kind of bully is to stand up and take your respect, because there is no way you can buy your way out with these kinds of people. There is no way you can negotiate with these kinds of people. There is no way you can reason with this kind of person, because this person is running on emotion, and because they are running on emotion, they are just caught up in their ego and the power they believe that they have over the other person, and the leverage they think that they have in the situation, because they think that this person is afraid of them. And the faster you show you're not scared of them, the faster you can shut this individual down, and the faster you can let them know that you're not going along to get along with them. No, you are going to go out here and follow only one being, and that is the Most High living God. And you're going to do things on the Most High's terms, not on the terms of some wicked man who really is insecure and scared. And the reason why they are insecure and scared is because they feel powerless. And what they're trying to do is use a situation like this to gain power. And they want to try to use these type of situations to gain power because they're scared, again, of other people having power. Because usually the kind of people who push these go along to get along narratives, these are extremely weak individuals, and all you have to do is push back just a little, and you'll watch these people crumple like paper tires. And the whole thing is that, again, these paper tigers, they make a lot of noise, but if you go out here and you really let out a roar and you come out with intensity and your heart and seriously, you can make these people practically back away in a couple of seconds, and they'll never ever bother you again. Because a lot of these people who want to push to go along to get along, bullying, again, these are the weakest bullies of all, and they cannot go out here and use force unless they've got a handful of people with them. And the fastest way to get those people to get away from them is to take that leader head on. And when you take him head on, you practically make it where his followers and acolytes run away. Now, I've, again, dealt with these kind of bullies for years, and that's the only way you can deal with this kind of bully, is to shut them down almost immediately. Because the more you negotiate with them, the more power you give them, and the more power you give them, the more unrealistic and ridiculous their demands are going to get. And as their demands get more and more ridiculous and absurd, they're doing this because they want to see how many hoops they can get you to jump through. And the whole thing with their bullying is it's one big crap test to see what they can get away with. And the faster you set that boundary with them, the faster you will shut these people down, because these people get off on the attention that they're receiving. They get off on creating drama. They get off on seeing people scared, and they get off on seeing somebody afraid of them. But when you show no fear, this type of person again, they crumple like a paper tiger, because they're all bark and no bite. They're all flash and there's no substance. Some of them try to use intellectualism to try to make themselves appear to be smart, but they can easily be torn apart by the average Joe, who basically uses logic and reason and is not afraid to break through their 50-cent words and their jargon. These are, again, some of the easiest bullies to beat, but you just have to have the courage to stand your ground, because nobody should ever go along to get along to please some other individual and give them power. And again, this is the kind of bully that easily can be beaten by one person standing up, and an entire nation of people can rise and stand up against this kind of bully and easily shut them down if they have the courage and the conviction and the heart to stand up and set a hard boundary for what they truly believe in. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this viewer requested, you can donate to the Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my positive Black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy. You can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online